Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about my last video, the one about the Less is More Act. But today I'm going to connect dots between that and why it's important to me. I'm going to go over a little bit of my experience with the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision as a whole. I'm going to start from the first day to the very last day, and even some experiences on parole. Alright, so here goes. Alright, so the first day, when I got locked up, I decided that I wanted to pursue my education. Something I didn't have a chance to really do during my addiction and years of just giving up too easily when things just didn't look like they were going to work. So I worked on that as soon as I got in there. I spent almost 1 year because I was at like a 4th grade level, so I needed to do some studying. So I did some really hardcore studying throughout the whole year, and ended up getting my high school equivalency diploma in a New York State correctional facility. After that, I decided to pursue a trade, floor covering. So I did about 18 months of that. And also I decided that on top of that, I needed a little bit more training. So I took some facilitator courses to teach about viruses and stuff like that. Then I took some other courses to teach the GED because I thought, heck, I had this opportunity to get this education. Maybe I can help somebody else out in the same position. And I took some extra courses like marriage and parenting, life coaching, financial coaching, stuff like that. Just little things that I thought that I could use. I became active in the churches, in the facilities I was in. I started learning how to play the guitar in the music room. I chaired some NA and AA meetings. That was important to me as well. AA and NA is just a great source of information, ways to stay clean. It's a we program, so it's a bunch of us that have gone through some of the same circumstances, situations, gotten through that situation. It's just one man helping the other. It's a really good course. NA and AA are proven to work 100% of the time if you're willing and able to follow the very minor steps that come along with those groups. Also, when I looked at my life, I considered a bunch of possibilities I wanted to pursue as far as a career. For one, I wanted to become a counselor, and maybe a peer facilitator of sort, to help people in the same circumstances I was, in the same helpless position I was in. So when it was time for me to get out, through the years I had rebuilt some of my relationships with my kid, my ex, my mom. I kind of brought my family back together a little bit. When I got out on parole told me, hey, everything you basically did in prison, we're not going to allow you to do, like the floor covering or being in church or most Narcotics Anonymous meetings, AA meetings. They basically loaded me up full of stipulations that had stipulations, and it set up barriers for my recovery and rehabilitation out here. It's becoming counterproductive in any society when you stop somebody from being able to get sources like education, because that's important. And that's another thing I'm going to touch on that a little bit as well. Um, I know that when I started to take my education seriously, and I started to open up books and talking to people that were educated, I threw out my own beliefs um, about what I thought I knew in life, and started to make some important changes that way. It's important that a person takes their education seriously. I mean, and I'm not talking about just academic education. I'm talking about everyday social education, like society rules, why we do the things we do. That's important too. So it's just not education as far as school books, but sobriety. This is all learning. Education, it covers a lot. Um, you know, I'm in counseling like 14 hours a week, and I can tell you that a lot of it works, and some of it's just redundant because your mind can only um, retain so much information. Um, so, like, about an hour of counseling a day is probably where you should be at. Um, but not to say, I mean, these rehabilitation programs work. Talking to people has gotten me through a lot of my situations. It's perception. Over time, we build our own perceptions, and they're not always the right ones. They're not always based on reality, right? So I really had to look at my own perception and learn how to change it. And it was difficult at first, and it's still a little difficult every day. I wake up, first thing I do is try to teach myself something new and different. But the barriers of parole and the way it works is it's just counterproductive in a way that it holds somebody back from the things that they should be doing in life, because um, parole is so afraid to give us these chances and let us go on our way. They're less of a supervisor rather than a dictator. And I think that them are the things that less is more will change, in effect. When we're able to earn time credits like 30 days on, 30 days off, them are the things that will get a person to want to change, and it's rewarding to get some time off. Also, it's just um, the parole violations today are just very, very, very bad. You can get up 1 to 5 years, and these are just minor non-criminal violations, and in effect, we lose our housing, we lose our programming, and when you're just starting out, it's expensive just to start out. So every single time they make me start over, it's expensive for the state. It's taking a toll on me because I'm eventually going to lose out on these chances. Um, People normally only have a window of time where the opportunities of employment, career opportunities, it opens and then it starts to close pretty quickly. So if I start to try to tackle my career after parole, it's going to be pretty difficult in my 40s. Most employers, they want to hire somebody that's going to be lifelong in their company, and they're investing in that person. Do you want to invest in a 40-something-year-old that you might be able to get 10 or 15 more years out of, or would you rather invest in somebody 25 years old where you're probably going to get 30, 40 years out of them? And would you rather take the person with the most time in prison or the most time in educational vocational program? So it's another situation. I mean, that I'm in. They're not allowing me to do these educational programs or vocational or go back to school, and in fact, that's putting me back further and further in my life. Um, I think when I thought about getting into a career, I wanted to get into working in flooring. Um, it's a 12-month round job. Um, there's good pay, um, and people are people are willing to hire felons in those type of jobs. Um, so where lessons more will come in is when people stop getting violated for the technical violations, and when they start meeting us where we're at, um, we can start making some major improvements, because it's not where society wants us to be, it's where we're at. Um, and it's not too much to ask for to just um, offer up some more programs. There's, like I said in the last video, there's charitable organizations that will work for almost nothing. Their reward is seeing us succeed. So we need to bring more of those programs in. When I was in prison, there was so many volunteer programs there. There was a lot of volunteers that came in for the religious programs, like Protestant Services ran a CCM program. It was a weekend full of learning about our religion, and it also showed us that there was people out there that actually cared about us. It's not, when we get locked up, it's we still have family out there. They didn't just all of a sudden turn their backs on us. They want us to do better. Um, so it was the impact of prison, and then the impact on parole. Um, it's been pretty tough on me. It's been difficult, and not because these programs are bad altogether. I'm actually not a naysayer for parole. I'm not a naysayer for correctional facilities. Um, what I'm saying is we should turn these places into educational facilities, where we're going to be punished just by them two fences outside. When you look from the inside of prison, you know you're punished when you see those two big razor fences out there. You know you're not going anywhere, and you know why you're not going anywhere. So, um, but what I did like when I was in there was I had just a great opportunity to sit back and reflect on what I really want in life and how I want to achieve it. And I knew that education was the way to go. We should turn these prisons into schools, teach these people how to live in sobriety, and live in all aspects. Maybe run some mock programs where you have them run a fake checkbook and or something like that. Um, and then you'll find like volunteers, because I'll tell you what, when I was locked up, I seen lots and lots of people, um, and most of them wanted change. Most of them wanted to get into those education programs, the college programs, the extra voluntary programs, um, and they weren't able to. It's frustrating when you're trying to get into a program and you gotta wait in line, and it's just. But people are there. They're waiting, and they want these programs. So give it to us. I mean, really, you guys are going to let us out of prison sooner or later. So how do you want us to act when we get out? Um, and how we act is a reflection of what we did while we were locked up and didn't have um, an opportunity to um, do all the things that got us in there. So um, I believe that education is the way to fix a society. If live and learn, that's where that comes from. So, but I wanted to give you just a snapshot of how I feel about the system. The system would work if we were channeled more into helping each other more than hurt each other. Being locked up, it was a very difficult experience, but it was rewarding in a way where I got to really take a look at what I was doing to my family, what I was doing to my friends, what I was doing to my community. And I learned that none of it was good that I was doing. I learned a way out. That's what I learned, that there was a way out of that life, and that I didn't have to use drugs to feel happy. I didn't, have to commit crime to enjoy life. I'm enjoying life just by helping the people out around me. I'm enjoying the advocacy work that I'm privileged enough to be able to do and that I was picked out for. So, in a sense, all of the learning that I did, it really helped me out with what I'm doing today. So, we need more support on this bill. We got about 5 more weeks on it, and I'm really hoping it gets voted in. The Less is More Act is just a better system all the way around. And the system hasn't been really worked on in so many years, probably 30 or 40 years. Nobody's had a real chance to take a look at how the system is working and how it affects everybody. And when you have a 75% rate of people not making it, then it begins to look like the system is flawed, not the people in the system. Because a person should not have a 25% chance to succeed in life. That's 1/4. They should have almost a 50 to 60% chance, if you ask me. And it should be based on what the person is willing to do to change the circumstance. Because there are some people out there that don't want change, that don't want to fix their life. They want to continue down the same path of hurting their community and friends and family. There's always gonna be, but it shouldn't be taken out on the people that are really working hard to change their life. It's ridiculous that I should have to be punished because of the misdeeds of others. And ultimately they shouldn't be treating us all the same anyways, because we're all different people. We all came from different backgrounds. We all have different barriers, hurdles. And that's where I was talking about meeting us where we're at, not where the state wishes we were at, or where we wish we were at, because I wish I was in a better place too. So it's about meeting us where we're at, because most of the time where we're at is in a better place than where we were. So that's what this video is about. I've done 4.5 years in prison. I did 31 months. I lasted 12 hours the first day, and then they sent me back for 22 more months. I was just not prepared for being out. It's very tough. It's like being thrown into a cold bath coming out of prison. It's just a total culture shock. It's a culture shock going in, and it's a culture shock coming out, because it's just two different environments, and they're just totally different. So some of us have a problem adapting to life out here. Meet us where we're at. Help us adapt to this situation. But I appreciate your time watching this video. Like I said in the other one, please tell me if there's anything I could do differently to make these videos better. I'm just starting out. I'm hoping to do a whole bunch of these. And again, thank you for your time. Have a nice day.